Hi, it's Michael, and welcome to week two. This is what I like to do just to make sure we're all on the right track in case there's any confusion. This is my signage, so to speak, of the class and try to guide things if I see that there's any need to. But we had a couple of interesting puzzles this week, which is Weinberger, I think, versus McManus. McManus is the designer, and we all love design because we think we can solve these problems, and we have. And there's going to be many, many of those that we're going to discover have already been solved about how people navigate the world of information that we live in. However, Weinberger is pretty much right that quality and the ability to make sense of it isn't something that people are going to be able to necessarily handle. So that there is no real answer other than doing what maybe you see others do. And I think most of you got to those conclusions, and I appreciated everyone's perspective. And then we just talked about wayfinding, which is kind of the design world in general, which is it's trying to help you find things, but it can be more or less successful. But it uses lots of conventions like street signs and numbering systems and things like that. So we need some systems to work with. So we don't want to invent much here. We want to use our skills as to organize in the most effective way possible. But we do have to start somewhere. We have to start in the beginning. And that beginning is, as always, is data. And I call it content here. I don't want people to be too confused about this, the no- conventions here, but it's going to be a database, and we're going to use Airtable for this database. And right up here in the top, here's a Airtable marketplace where they have a ton of different databases that you can start with. And I'll just stop. You'll just start there. You're going to work and update and change this database. But what I'm interested in you finding is a subject that you're interested in because your interest and your ability to update this data and make sense of the data is really important. So if you pick a database you have no interest or understanding of, it can be challenging. And actually, in real life, this is challenging. Sometimes you're given data to organize and you really don't understand it. So there's a couple ways to do this, though. You don't have to get things from Airtable. I would say that there's probably a little more work to be done if you get an Airtable topic. You also need to find a topic that's about something, not about like an event or, well, the point is there might be a lot of wrangling about what a good database to work with is, but I want it to be something that you explore. So making mistakes or getting feedback, don't worry about it. It's just that's part of the journey. You can also go to sites and scrape them, which is fun. Go get your data from someone else, which is also true of if you know how to use JSON. You can get data about just about anything from JSON, and that's important to realize here that most of us don't have to manage the very difficult uh, problem of making sure the data is any good. I think we're really going to be working this week on what we'll call the data model. And I'm just suggesting here these are some topics that people tend to like and that people don't tend to work. And of course, as always, we're at the bottom. Got 3 videos that I shot here, just making sure you understand the techniques of how to get data, what it looks like, how you manipulate it. But and oh, and once again, I've got this weird podcast version of this week. Um, yeah, I don't know. Try any of these, listen to them if you like. Certainly try to get these out of the way early in the week so that you can go and explore data. And just to get you used to it, we're going to talk a little bit about the X or Twitter database, which many would say is a pretty simple database. But you can see here there's actually a lot going on in it. And the goal right now at the bottom here is to try to avoid using the topic of the tweet itself, which is what everyone does. But look at these other pieces of data. So you're going to go into the advanced search and look at some of the other things that you can search on. And my goal here is to let you understand that those extra pieces of data give context. Maybe they're dates, maybe they're people, maybe they're places. Anyway, there's all these things that give context to the data just so that it's not very brittle that you have things that multiple ways to organize, I will say, will be the goal of this week. And also over here, share your link to Airtable. I know always there's an issue with make sure to share to everyone. There's a little sharing, just like everything has a little sharing thing. Make sure it's just open so anyone can see it. So we could all look at each other's databases, maybe get some ideas, some tips. Yeah, it's all about sharing. I'm happy if you just put a comment and mention me if you're curious about any feedback from me. That's what I'm here for, to give feedback. And hopefully this week we get through it with a topic and some data that's going to help us as we move into the next week to really finalize that, like, this is the data that we're going to organize, that you're going to organize. So it is an individual choice. And good luck.